I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. Senator Joe Manchin spoke on the Senate floor Wednesday about the last surviving Medal of Honor recipient from World War II. The West Virginia Democrats celebrated the hero, who passed away 2 weeks ago at the age of 98 and who also hailed from West Virginia. The veteran, Woody Williams, was awarded the Medal of Honor due to his actions at the Battle of Iwo Jima. Manchin also pointed out that following his service, he helped save multiple West Virginia VA hospitals. Williams will lie in honor at the U.S. Capitol on Thursday. Take a listen as Senator Manchin remembers the West Virginia soldier.
Mr. President, I rise today to speak on the life and legacy of my dear friend, the last surviving World War II Medal of Honor recipient, West Virginian, and one of the last greatest generation, Woody Williams of Quietdale, West Virginia. Before I begin today, I want to recognize members of Woody's family who is here today with us in the gallery, and recognizing all of them, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing Woody all those years with me and Shelley and all of our West Virginians. We're here today to respect Woody's wishes of honoring all veterans and their families, and to pay respects to our nation's last living World War II Medal of Honor recipient. To the family, I want to say this: you're the legacy he was most proud of, all of you. And I'm honored to welcome, and Senator Capito and both of us are welcoming you, which is Woody's legacy, still here. And thank you. But we're going to respect his wishes, and his wishes basically were all veterans and their families, and to pay respects to the nation's last living World War II Medal of Honor recipient. It has been 77 years since Woody Williams quieted those enemy machine guns on the sands of Iwo Jima. And while he is now sadly gone, the ideals that he lived by are not. The love of his family, his friends, and his faith and service to country above all. General George Patton once said, "It is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men lived." Woody lived every day as if he were given a second chance, and we are all so much better for it. And boy, did Woody live for a long time. His grandson, Brent Casey, passed along Woody's recipe for a long life. I hope I got all this right. He would say when asked, "It's Bragg's apple cider vinegar, and it has to have the mother, and you know the cloudy stuff in the bottom of the bottle, mixed with local honey and 6 ounces of warm water. You can add some pure maple syrup for extra flavoring if you like." And Woody said, "I've been drinking it every morning since the early 1960s. About 3 years ago, he got it printed on a business card because he said he was so tired of reciting it every time someone asked. And he handed out quite a few of those cards, too. One of my favorite Woody quotes is the one he cited when his grandson, Cedar, graduated from Marine boot camp. When Woody was asked what it meant to be a Marine, he said, "By taking that oath, you can take my life, but you cannot take my country or my freedom. You cannot take my country or my freedom." That says it all about Woody. During the ceremony in West Virginia last weekend, Woody's grandson, Chad, said we must remember what Woody taught us. There are few things in the world that we can do alone. It is only through the support of others that we can truly reach our goals. So look to your left and look to your right. We are all a part of his legacy, and it is up to us to carry forward. In the words of Woody, "The cause is greater than I." One of Woody's last wishes was lying in state at the United States Capitol, and it wasn't for himself. We spoke about this years ago. It wasn't for himself, but he wanted to make sure that we'd represent all Medal of Honor recipients from World War II. And there were only 472. Of the whole war, 472. Tomorrow, that the West Virginia farm boy from Quietdale will lie in honor in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda, laying to rest the sacrifices of a generation of heroes. That's what we do tomorrow. Woody can rest in peace knowing his mission is complete. I will miss Woody because he was my wingman. Or may I say this, we're all his wingman. And I think that's what he would have preferred. Woody always had the project for everyone around him. Everyone sitting up there, he had projects for you. He had projects for me and projects for Shelley. He made sure that we understood exactly what he wanted done. As his grandson, Brian Casey, said, if you met with Woody, you know he always had a project for everyone. He would magically produce napkins and Sharpies in his projects, typically with him diagramming the project while we watched and listened. They were not always unused napkins, but they always became works of art. Woody came to me a few years ago and said that we needed to help the Gold Star families in West Virginia and across the whole country. So we started a motorcycle ride for fallen service heroes. We did 6 of those rides, and Woody was in his 90s, and he was there every time in that slingshot, just giving it all he had, and he stayed right with us. We raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for the Gold Star families. Some of those funds, as you know, went into monuments across the nation, including the one that sits at the Capitol we honored also with the laying of the wreath. I know how many good things Woody and I worked on together. If you multiplied that by all the other people he worked with, you will fully realize Woody's incredible impact on West Virginia and the entire country. That's why he got a ship, a VA hospital, and a National Guard Reserve Center named after him. Most recently, because of Woody, our VA medical centers were saved. His testimony ended the Air Commission, which would have turned 3 of our 4 West Virginia VA medical centers into urgent care centers, as well as countless others across the nation. And really in rural America, rural veterans would not have been served. Every veteran in the nation can thank Woody for saving their VA hospital. Woody was with me when I was governor and helped so much as we stood up to the Cabinet Secretary for Veterans Affairs. Then he was the founding member of my Senate Veterans Advisory Group, where he led efforts to clean up the Clarksburg and Beckley VMCs. He helped get the first Fisher House. I remember we called Ken Fisher. Ken came in, met with Woody, and it was over. It was going to be done. It was that quick. It was unbelievable. And I know it gave so much solace to the family when you got to spend a few moments in that beautiful place. It was really something very, very special. Woody has been there every step of the way, from making sure that families of the fallen receive death gratuities during government shutdowns. That was the time that he said, Joe, we have to do something. He says, the shutdown is preventing us from giving the gratuities the families need. That's when we called Ken Fisher, and that's when we all became very good friends at Fisher House. Ken Fisher was the leader of that, and that's how that all began. And Ken was happy to step up. Named the first Gold Star Children's Day was August the 1st. He was instrumental in that. It is also amazing that so many people from across the country and each of our states that we represent in this great deliberate body have so many good things to say about Woody, because his legacy runs further than just West Virginia, as you know. I didn't realize the magnitude of the impact until I traveled with him to California and also in Virginia when his ship was commissioned and it was christened. And when that happened, I mean, from the brass all the way down to the ensigns on these ships, the Marines learned about being a Marine because of studying Woody Williams. And I didn't realize the impact that he had. It was unbelievable. And I'm there and I have all these people coming to me, telling me the impact that he had on them and how much that they admired him. But I'm always remembering the one general telling me how they studied Woody Williams in the Marine Corps. I never forgot that. He says, let me tell you, I know you know him as your friend. I know you know him as representing your state. Let me tell you how he represented the Marine Corps. That's the man we studied. So when Marines learn how to be Marines, they learned about Woody Williams. I always knew West Virginia had a treasure in Woody. What I didn't know is that he was their treasure also. I will forever be thankful that Woody and his family gave me the gift of spending time with him in Huntington. And when Mara and I was able to go down that Sunday morning before he passed, it was such a special day. And he was as chirp and bright as ever. You know, you would not think that anything was really that much different. And I said, Woody, I think someone wants to speak to you. And it was Dennis McDonough, who's the Secretary of the VA for the United States of America. And he wanted to speak to Woody. And Woody was so thrilled. And it was a great conversation. And just its true form as Woody, he says, now, Mr. Secretary, I got to tell you just a couple things. And he went into exactly what needed to get done. It was just classic. And Dennis called me afterwards to explain the conversation. He was so tickled. And it tickled Woody also to be able to have that conversation. And he was just full of life. He was still full of life. And he was still full of ambition to get things accomplished. In his final days, he stayed the same as I always knew him. And as you know, he was quick as a whip. He was kind, selfless, and concerned for his fellow veterans and the families and all of you. He was concerned about everybody. And he was ready. It was a moment that I will cherish the rest of my days, being able to spend that little bit of time at the end there. But in true Woody fashion, he gave me marching orders that day. He said one of his last wishes was enclosing the committal shelter at the Donald C. Kennard Veterans Cemetery. Senator Capito got the same order I got. It's on our to-do list, and it will get done, so that the families will be protected from the elements when paying their final respects. And it's something that should be done in every shelter, in every VA burial ground, in every VA cemetery. But of course, this project was bigger than just West Virginia for Woody. It will probably lead to the national effort. I can promise you this, that we are going to get that done. That was a commitment we made to Woody, and it'll happen. As President Biden said upon Woody's passing, I don't throw the word hero around lightly, but if I'm going to use it, I'd use it for a guy like Woody Williams. Heroism, like it did for Woody, can come in all different shapes and sizes. Woody Williams was far more than just a hero. He was the greatest of the greatest generation and a model for future generations. From what I know, Woody's greatest wish was for all of us to continue his mission, to give back to each other and to love our country. And his grandson Brian said last week, I have the project that he wants each of you to work on. A couple of them actually. And today I will ask each of you to work on these projects too. If Gold Star families in your area are traveling more than an hour to one of the Gold Star family memorial monuments, they are traveling too far. Your project is to get a project working in your backyard. Second, if you have a monument in your area, your project is to ensure the legacy that Woody helped create by working to recognize these families. Become part of the project. Become part of the process to bring people back to that monument. Least we never forget these Gold Star families. As we celebrate the life and legacy of Woody Williams and all our veterans in World War II this evening and tomorrow, let us all do our best to continue Woody's mission. May God rest the soul of our dear friend, our leader, our national hero, Woody Williams. And I yield the floor to my colleague, Senator Capito.